Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa is here as well. And we got a special guest in the building.
The Hood Whisperer.
Tezlyn! Yes!
Family. I'm not special guest. Breakfast Club family.
Tezlyn Figaro is here. Good morning,
Good
Tez.
morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Congratulations. I saw that you officially got accepted in the FAMU Law School.
Yes.
Hey.
Can we drop a
Congratulations.
clue?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Yes, thank you for saying that. Yes, I'm very excited. FAMU, HBCU, very, very important. My daughter, shout out to my daughter Jada, she actually got into Prairie View.
Okay.
So she'll be going on a scholarship, and mom will be taking advantage of my empty nest situation and going to law school.
What made you
love it.
decide? Because you already got 2 degrees, right?
Yes.
What made you want to go get a third?
Education. I've always wanted to get my law degree. Even though I've worked with Attorney Crump as a senior public policy advisor, as you know, for the last 10 years, just wasn't able to do it. You know, having a daughter, running a business, 300 employees in Atlanta, hustling, working. Your first year of law school is really like a hazing. Like you really have to be able to, you know, focus. I've always had to worry about getting money. So I want to say thank you to you for the Black Effect Podcast Network, because without that, knowing that I can at least have some type of income coming in, that's really a lot of why it's made possible. So I want to thank you for that. Your critics could never. Just so that, period. That's really, really important. You know, it's not like I'm wealthy or, you know, anything like that. But one of the things with law school, it took me over a decade to finish my bachelor's. I had to stop, start because of money. You know, do I got to work full time? Do I have to be a teacher, substitute, all those different things? So to really finish the law school program, you need a job. And how do you do that and still study? So I am part-time because I'm still chief political correspondent at Revolt News and managing editor over there. But now I can kind of breathe and, you know, I got some income coming in, so shout out to Charlamagne.
Will you actually go to class and school there, or will you do online?
In class. I know you always asking about online. Yes, no, I will be in class in Orlando, Florida, going back to Orlando, finishing up which is a full circle for me.
That's
I had
right.
to leave when due to healthcare reform when I lost my business. So no, it's actually Monday through Thursday, and then I'll be going to Atlanta to record on Friday.
Tell them students don't be trying to holler at you now, because you're going to be in class. Tell them students don't be trying to holler at you now.
Nephew, you think you're going to try to...
Yeah, tell them nephews don't be trying to holler at you
What's
now.
your other 2 degrees, Tez?
Master's in adult education.
Okay.
And then management. And then right now I'm actually at Sam Houston University online working on my second master's in political science. Straight A's, by the way.
Oh,
Political
congrats,
science,
Tez.
law degree. So when you finish all of that, you're just going to apply it to what you're already doing? Do you have a new area you want to venture into?
No, I will still always be in civil rights, no doubt about that, but criminal defense. It's very, very important to me. My main thing that I advocate for is the criminalization of Black men in particular and Black folks. And we need more criminal defense lawyers. We really, really do. If you look at the case right now with the Carmelo Anthony that's going on in Frisco, Texas.
Not the basketball player, the young man in Texas, the track star.
Yeah, I built my first 2 houses in Frisco, Texas. 5913 Blazing Star Road, 11410 Promenade Road. So I'm very familiar with Frisco, very familiar with what he's up against. Shout out to...
Do you know the case?
I know a little bit about it. I just got briefed on it yesterday. Dominique Alexander, Next Generation Action Network, he's doing the activism. He just gave me an award in January for called Voice of the People. And so now I'm kind of getting involved within the last 24 hours. But I know that the issues that he's going to be faced with. And so this is why, again, we need criminal defense. What Attorney Crump does is important. We need more civil rights attorneys. But I think I can be a beast at that defense table.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss. Of
Where
course.
do you want to go? I see you got your laptop out.
I got my
Where you come with your notes and your
Go ahead.
points?
What's your notes?
Well, no, I came to talk to you guys about Push the Line. I've talked to you about it many, many times. My training program, Politics Until Something Happens. It's a nonpartisan political training. We did it in 2022. You remember, had 300 people that came from all over the country. In Atlanta, they came from LA, Jersey, Houston, Dallas. I was overwhelmed to see how many people came in. They sat with me for 12 hours in the rain, waiting in the rain at 7 a.m. And so people have asked, Tezlyn, bring the program online. And so I finally got it online. It's a 5-course program. I'm the trainer. I say master's in education not to stunt, because, you know, I'm the hood whisperer, but it's important that you know that, because I actually built the curriculum. And so there's a lot of folks that build courses but may not know, the technicalities of building a curriculum, having objectives, and meeting those. So I've built the curriculum myself, and so now it's virtually online. I'm happy to go through you want me to go through
Let's do it.
Yes, yeah.
So course 1 is called We Are Soldiers. And what that is it's talking about the roles and responsibilities for candidates, campaign workers, organizers, and activists. So this training is, even if you are a Black conservative, I want you to know, come on in. If you are liberal, if you are progressive, if you are Democrat, it's nonpartisan. I'm not pushing any agenda. I'm teaching you the basic fundamentals that you need. I've been a candidate myself. I've worked on campaigns, state, local, federal. I was the only Black person on the ground in 2015 to flip Michigan for Bernie Sanders. I have been an activist, obviously still am, and an organizer. So this training really brings all those things together and giving you information that the other trainings won't do. I've probably been to every major training: Congressional Black Caucus Boot Camp, White House Project, Go Run Lead, Yale Law School for Women. They have a training. I have not found one that really breaks it down. One tells you the truth on what you're really going to have to do to run. And so I just decided to create it myself. That first course is critically important. Now, you can enroll now, TezlynFigaro.com. There's course curriculum in there now for you to study. There'll be a live interactive class with me on June 14th. If you miss it, it'll still be available for replay, so that's the good thing about it. But a lot of people don't understand roles and responsibilities and the difference between those two. And I'll just kind of give an example. You and I talk about it all the time, the difference between candidates and activists. One of the reasons why you see a lot of candidates crashing out is because they're trying to be an activist and a candidate and an organizer and all these different things, and people don't really know the difference. And I blame the candidates for setting them up for that expectation. So to give you an example, because we talk about it a lot, an elected official actually serves the constituents. So you'll hear a lot of people online, why is such and such Black candidate talking about immigration? Why are they talking about this? Why are they not talking about Black folks? Well, they are, but you got to understand that candidate in Congress is representing 200,000 people, 150,000 people, and that job literally says to advocate for your constituents. So they have to take care of everybody. So that's why people was pissed when they said, oh, VP Harris said, I'm not going to only do stuff for Black people. I feel it. I understand what they meant. But what she was basically trying to say is you have to represent everybody, which is why I would not be a good candidate. It's really important that you know where you fit. I wouldn't be a good candidate unless I'm in South Fulton, which is Atlanta, outside of Atlanta, Georgia, 98% Black. City commissioner, so I can talk about Black issues. But if you're in Congress, you run for president, you're talking about everybody. That's literally a part of their job. And people have to be okay with saying, that's not a good fit for me. An activist, and this is where people get confused, an activist is the one that is pushing the candidate, that is saying, hey, what about me? What about me? So if that's reparations activists, immigration activists, healthcare activists, your job is to literally put pressure on the elected official. The elected official has to sit around and say, okay, I got to take care of a little bit of this, squeaky oil, what they say, squeaky oil, what's the wheel?
Squeaky wheel, squeaky oil gets the oil.
Gets the oil.
So your job is to push. However, because candidates, and this is where I criticize them, candidates, elected officials don't work with activists the way that they should, because you want to be it all. You want to be the candidate, you want to be the activist, you want to be the organizer.
Or they're scared to work with the activists because they think they'll get backlash.
Right. Or they want to be on this microphone. You have over 400 people in Congress. How many do you see on the microphone? A handful. So you have your Jasmine Crockett's. You have
Nancy Mace.
Yeah. So you have, but technically they're the elected official. Technically, they shouldn't have to be on the microphone being the activist, because what happens is, what you see, and we had a big old group chat about this. What happens is, if Jasmine Crockett is talking about all the different things, immigration, I tell people, lay off on being upset with her talking about immigration. She's in Texas. She must talk about immigration. So you have Black people online, oh, why is she talking about immigration? Because she represents people, in Texas. So when you have her having to be the activist, because there's not leadership in the Democrat Party that's loud, or there's not activists on the ground that are loud enough, or they're not coordinating with those activists. And when I say coordinate, I mean give them money so that they can crash out on your behalf. Then now you have a candidate that's trying to do it all. So what happens when she runs for office? When I looked at her Ballotpedia, I think it was 100-something thousand that voted in a general election. So when I look at that and I see 50,000 people in the primary that can move you out your seat, that's what happened to Representative Jamal Bowman. When you are being the activist and he's talking about Gaza, 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 and damn near half of your district is Orthodox Jews, they actually have the power to put you in and put you out. Not the podcast, not the national media. So when you're not coordinating with your activists, say, hey, go run this play, run this offense, and let me do this and you do that, that's how you see a lot of the issues. And you set up false expectations for the elected official. And then the organizer is very different than the activist. A lot of people think that's the same. It's not the same. Perfect example. Rashida Tlaib in Detroit organized 100,000 people to go to the polls. So most of the people you see online, these podcasts, they're activists. Hey, reparation now, reparation now, reparation now. That's important. You know, healthcare now. But organizing is actually getting people in the room like we did at the town hall a couple of weeks ago. I had in Atlanta, 150 people standing outside in the rain. That's organizing. Screaming and yelling is one thing, but getting 100,000 people to go to the polls to say we are voting no commitment, that is actually organizing, which is why Tamika always says, I'm an organizer first. So when you understand these roles and responsibilities, now you can know your role, which is push the line. My logo has a person pushing the P, the U, the S, the H. Everybody like at this table has a role. If you know your role, and then we know how to work together, now we can move forward on an agenda.
I have a question.
Yeah.
With politics today, though, like when I look at like Trump, I feel like he doesn't stay within any lines of any of the things that you just said. Do you feel like it's changed now because he's changed the way that politicians move and what they say and what they stand for? Like he pushes whatever he wants to push, and he's successful at it. So how do you kind of counter what he's doing and kind of make it where the people that you're raising up on either side are just as strong voice-wise as what we see him do?
Yeah, it's not about really countering it. See, one of the modules that I have is called "It's Not About We, It's About Me." If you are already strategizing to be against somebody and not doing your role, like you always say, just stay consistent. Don't compete with anybody. Do your role. Push the line is not about trying to focus on Trump or focus on what Republican parties are doing, because Trump never focused on you. He never focused on the Democrat Party. So when people set that up to say, I know it felt good when they say, oh, Barack Obama, he's everybody's president. Actually, you're really the president of the people that vote you in.
Yeah.
I know people don't want to hear that, but it's really catering to who votes you, who puts you in. That's just like my household. I'm catering to my man. I'm not catering to what your man say or what somebody else man say. So Trump has done, and they hate it when I say this, because they say he didn't do a good job. He's a liar. No, I'm not saying I like it. I'm telling you how it is.
Yeah.
It's a difference between how it is and how you want it to be. He is only talking to his base, even though he know good and damn well he cannot dismantle the Department of Education, because Congress is going to have to do it. He don't give a damn about that. He signed an executive order saying, let's dismantle it. We begged for those things. You remember, Charlamagne, like, why don't y'all just do an executive order for the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act? But everybody's so smart in the Democrat Party. That's not how it works. You got to go through Congress. You got to go. People want to know you at least fighting. You at least in the ring. You willing to sock somebody in the eye. You willing to fight for my love. You know what they say? Every night I got to fight for my love.
I think it's a combination of both, though, because Donald Trump did, he did call them the woke left, and he did say that the Democrats are the enemy from within, but he didn't just run a campaign of Democrats are bad, Democrats are bad, Democrats are bad. He actually said, these are the things I want to do for my constituents as well. I think Democrats just run a whole Trump is bad campaign, but they don't ever tell the constituents exactly what it is they want to do for them.
Right, and they also don't teach constituents how to do it. They're terrible with training, which is why I started this training program. Also, Trump is an organizer and an activist and a candidate and a marketer and an entertainer. He makes everything a spectacle. He makes everything a big deal. He always knows how to play to the camera. All of the things that the Democrats feel
they lack.
They're too good to do.
Yeah.
And so I'm just going to tell you like straight up, oh, no, don't do that. That's not president. He doesn't give a damn. And so he's been campaigning for the last 8 years.
That's right.
Campaigning
now.
Yeah, he's campaigning now. We said that he's literally campaigning. When you have a rally every month or every other month, that's actually organizing, getting people in the room.
And they pop out crazy. So he's been doing it the whole time. It's hard to catch up with that. It's hard to catch up when you've been talking. It's not a matter of how many people you have. Conservatives are the minority of this country. So it's not about
who's the biggest. It's about who's the strongest. That's why I like to use LA gangbanging for those who grew up in the 90s. Bloods were always the smallest, but they also were the most powerful. How did Inglewood survive with Crips all around it? Why? Because they knew how to push a line, which, by the way, that's what Bloods say, push the line. Crips say, press the line. So when you're able to take a small group, organize, consistent, message. Conservatives have the best, and again, don't come for me in the comments. Well, I don't give a damn y'all come for me in the comments or not. They have the digital discipline that you do not have on the left. You do not have that on the left. Conservatives listen to podcasts, or where they listen to AM talk radio. We talked about this before, all the way into work, an hour commute. Messaging.
Right.
They go in their job, they listen to a podcast. 70% of podcast listeners are white, which is why what we're doing at Black Effect is so important. So then they at work, messaging, bad, enemy. Then they go home and they watch Fox News. Then they get in the comments. I try to teach people how to be the comment caucus. I talk about that too. They stay on it. Like we stay on it with Shade Room, they stay on it nonstop. Look at the interview that I did here with Vivek Ramaswamy is a perfect example. Then people still commenting on that. I upset them so much, they are still commenting on that. Do you know, I don't even know if you knew this, Joe Biden, you would say that's probably one of the most popular interviews that you've had, the You Ain't Black. Go look at the comments under YouTube. Under YouTube, I think the last time I checked, it might have been 20,000 something comments. Under the Vivek Ramaswamy interview, the last time I checked, 50,000 comments. And Joe Biden had millions of views. We only hit a couple of 100,000. But look at the engagement. Them people was on my ass every day, angry, masculine, They made 150 videos about me. Shout out to y'all though. They know how to message over and over and over, even if it's wrong. And so you don't see that on the left. And so I don't give a damn if it's left or right. I want to see it more in our communities. Know how to message. Same way y'all follow gossip, same way y'all followed it. If we have that same type of organizing, which, by the way, is course 2 called Ambition of a Rider. It's talking about community coalition building, how to be the comment caucus, how to make sure you click and like, how to get the engagement. You have to be very strategic in this. And if you're not, we don't get anywhere.
So I agree with that. I agree with that. I also think that that's why when you see somebody scoring points, you just got to keep feeding them the ball. Right. Republicans did that with Trump. Once they saw that Trump is the guy that the media gravitates towards and this is who people are listening to, that's the guy. And I think Democrats don't do enough of that. If it's AOC, give her the ball. If it's Jasmine Crockett, give her the ball. If it's Bernie Sanders, give him the ball. Those are the people that folks are gravitating towards right now. They just had a rally in LA, I think, with like
20-something thousand. And
30-something thousand people. That's what I'm saying. Like, if that's the people folks are gravitating towards, that's who needs to be getting the ball right now.
My criticism, well, not criticism, my pushback with that, with Bernie Sanders is, because working on this campaign in 2015, they did great getting people to the rallies, but you couldn't get them to the polls. So it's great to stand up there and say, hey, y'all, this is bullshit. But if you're not giving people the tools, which, again, this is why this training is so important. If you're just saying, get involved in your community, a lot of people literally don't know how. They literally need a step-by-step guide. Democrats should be running a play. You should see commercials just as much as they ran y'all commercials. Every 15 minutes, it should be who want to run, who want to run, who want to run, who want to work on the campaign, who want to work on the campaign. Constant. Y'all raised $100 million in 90 days. Where's $100 million to actually train people? Just so we clear, nothing is back. People pay for the course, but nothing is backing me. It's not a Republican. It's not a Democrat. It's not any of that. Why are they not using that money to train you how to run for local office? You have midterms next year. Then you need to train people how to actually work on the campaign. There's a lack of infrastructure. One of the reasons Rashida Tlaib was 4, 5, 6 black people that ran against Rashida Tlaib in Detroit. They had to hire a friend of mine from Kansas City to run the campaign because of the lack of infrastructure of knowing how to run a campaign, how to be a volunteer coordinator, how to be a campaign manager, how to be a comms director. So they don't build up the infrastructure, which means you don't have a bench. It's not just getting a good candidate. You also need your organizers. You need your campaign workers. And that's where my criticism is of Bernie Sanders and anybody that's doing a rally. You're not training these people. You're getting them upset, but for what?
I was going to ask you, a lot of times Democrats get butthurt a lot when you ask them, when you push back on a lot of the things that they say. Why do you think that is? It almost feels like they are upset when we question the things that we should be able to question.
Well, there's a lot of ego in politics, which is one of the things, again, that we teach, that I teach here, the thing to remove your ego out the way, meaning not about me, not about we, it's about me. They know it all. I'm just gonna be straight up honest with you. They know it all. They know it all, but seem to not know how to win consistently. You have people who are highly educated in what they do. Again, I'm not anti-education. I love degrees. The more, the better. But they just refuse, many of them, not all, but refuse to really connect to the concrete. I go by concrete roots, not mud, because mud is too soft for me. I got this shit out the concrete. Not a manager, not an agent, not my family was in this, not somebody put me on. So they can't have those conversations, and they don't know how to get a ball to the people that can have a conversation. But you know why? Because they want to be on the microphone, envy. It's just like a rapper. Like, they have to be the one on the microphone. Instead of saying, you know what? Such and such know how to talk to this group. Let me give them the play.
Yeah, I don't want to see Hakeem Jeffries.
Yeah.
I want to see AOC. I want to see Jasmine. I want to see those people. That's really the problem.
But then there's also people that they can't connect to as well. Why are you not connecting to the streets in California? Well, Governor Newsom, who to me don't have a shot in hell on the national level, but still very good with pushing this message. I know some homies right now in LA that would organize right now, who's never voted, who's never, because of what he did with the gang enhancement, what he's done with healthcare. You hear a lot of bad about California, but healthcare.
What do you call the streets, though? Because, I mean, Bernie and AOC did just have 36,000 people in LA.
Well, there's still a demographic, people that are not involved at all, people that don't give a damn about none of this. Bernie Sanders' demographic, and I'm just going to be honest, the progressive demographic, the Rainbow Coalition, is white liberals, pretty much, white progressives. There's still a lack of talking to those that have completely given up, completely disenfranchised. Obviously, and also at Coachella, the average ticket was $700-800.
Well, no, that wasn't Coachella. Bernie came out of Coachella, but they had a whole other event.
He did Coachella though, too, though.
Yeah, he came out to Coachella, but they had a whole other event.
Well, working on that campaign, I'm just gonna be straight up with you. You know, I'm very clear about my position with Bernie Sanders. He is talking to a very progressive, white ran movement to me. And even if you're Hispanic, it's still white adjacent. It's still, as long as we get everybody who make money out the way, as long as everybody make $15 an hour, all will be well. He struggles with dealing with race. I'm saying it as his former racial justice director. Also, everybody ain't mad at rich people, Charlamagne. Like, some people really trying to get the bag. So those conversations, and I know what they mean with the elite, the top.
Yeah, I think the fighting oligarchy tour is a good message, but I think it's it's not a hypocritical message from Bernie Sanders and AOC, but from majority of the Democratic Party is a hypocritical message because they all taking money from the billionaires and the corporate lobbyists.
Well, the hood don't know who the oligarchy is. How do you say it?
Fighting oligarchy.
They don't even know what the hell you're talking about. I mean, they don't. You know, when the people are talking about neoliberal, they don't know what you're talking about. So there's different messages that people need to have to engage. And I think the Democrat Party 10 is too big. It's too big.
Oh, I agree with that.
It needs to be broken down. Everybody's not going to relate to Bernie Sanders. Everybody's not going to relate to AOC. Everybody's not going to relate to Jasmine Crockett. Everybody's not going to relate to me.
So that's why everybody should be doing, like Killer Mike said, if everybody does a little, nobody got to do a lot.
That's right. And again, local, state. We got to stop this fascination with federal. We really, really do. All of your powers is your city commissioner, your mayor. They are managing billion-dollar, budgets. Look at Atlanta, the Black Mecca. The mayor get to decide who's going to get this grant, who's going to get this funding. How do we keep this program going? How do we keep the after-school program going? Okay, if y'all don't want to do it, we're going to figure it out. It's the local.
I think it's because the local government, even though when you get old enough to understand that, the local government is not like the glitz and the glamour isn't there.
Right, they want the sexiness, right.
I feel like when Keisha Lance Bottoms was mayor in Atlanta, she did a good job of, like, you knew who she was even if you didn't live in Atlanta. Like, you cared about what she was doing even if you didn't live there. Like, she was a talking point. But a lot of local government people don't do that. Like, you don't. Well,
they don't need to do it. It's called actually serving your constituents. See, so again, this is where I go back to these politicians. I appreciate what they're doing. Don't get me wrong, because we need the voices, because you don't see it damn sure not coming from the Democrat Party. But Keisha need to be worrying about Keisha's constituents. All of this, I'm trying to be a national spokesperson and all of that. That's how you end up crashing out. That's how you get out of office. That's how you get your constituents seeing you at the grocery store. They're seeing you at church. They don't care nothing about you trying to be no voice for everybody else. They're concerned with, are you taking care of these 100,000 people in your district or 200,000 people in your district? It's not about, you can't get Keisha in and you can't get her out. You have zero power. So she can get on these podcast mics if they want to, but at the end of the day, they don't vote for you. So either you want to be an elected official Or do you want to be a podcaster?
I agree, but I think sometimes it's not your fault. Like in Keisha's case, I don't think it was her fault.
No,
she just happened to be a black woman who was the mayor of Atlanta, so like all the rappers were talking about her. And
pandemic was happening.
What was the slogan? Atlanta got a man named Keisha. Like it was a thing.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not blaming
her.
her. Yeah, I'm definitely not blaming her. I'm using that name for any local politician.
I just pointed to her because she's the only person. I just think about it like locally in Delaware, like you would know because like you said, you see them, you hear them, but outside of whether it's Delaware, Philly, wherever, you don't just know of these people. And I think a lot of it is because even if they're not at the microphones, I don't know, it's just local level is not glamorized.
Right.
And sometimes it's scandal, like Marion Barry. Like you know.
Right. But guess what? They could never get them out. I encourage people to go watch the 9 Lives of Marion Barry. Scandal or not, they could not get them out. Yeah. You know why they couldn't get them out?
My dad was in rehab, Marion Barry.
Because he was doing the work. Yeah, he was doing the work. When you do the work, like shout out to Eric Mays, my friend, rest in peace. Shout out to Eric. Y'all seen Eric Mays, how he be cussing at people. When you're doing the work, people will know about you, but you could not get Eric Mays out of office for nothing because he took care of his district. This is a district conversation. Even Congress is still a district. It's still a local conversation. So when you get out on these microphones and because I've seen it happen real time, and you're trying to please all of these different constituents that can't vote for you because I want to say what they want me to say. I want to say what they want me to say. Okay, the people that's actually voting for you are the ones that make the decision. So you don't hear about it, Lauren, because they're doing their job. Right. But those candidates should also stop trying to be seen all the time, which I think is important. I'm not dissing because they don't have a choice. The Jasmines and all that don't have a choice because ain't nobody else stepping up. So this is not shitting on her. I'm saying that I wish they would work more with activists and fund those activists because they're crashing out. Literally, they can't get jobs. They can't go transition anywhere. Fund those activists to run that play for you so that you can actually be in office to vote. Cori Bush, Jamal Bowman, they're no longer in Congress. They can't vote for nothing because when they were pushing those issues, which is important, but the district said otherwise. Right. So you got the money to say, yeah, push. But your district said, no, we're going to do something different. So now you don't even have an ally that can actually vote, to make a difference. And so that's what I mean.
What do you say to people that they always feel like it's a money play, like both sides of money play, right? They look at Democrats and they see, for instance, Eric Adams, who was the mayor of New York City, who a lot of people voted for him because he was a Democrat. Then you see him buddy with Trump, and then Trump pardoning him. Or you see Kamala Harris giving a lot of these organizations money, whether it was Al Sharpton or Roland Martin, and then they do interviews with him. And of course, if people feel like if you give me money, I have to be partial to you. So how do you feel when people look at those things?
Okay, well, course 4 is Stand on Business. It talks about legal compliance and how to really work with that money so you don't go to jail. So that's one of the courses. That's why I love you bring that's one of the courses. Course 3, and this is all in one course. Thinking of a Master Plan also talks about your roadmap on literally how you navigate that. So I teach that.
Because if you give me money and I interview you, can I be partial, or am I just going to be on your side the whole time because I know I got a check coming?
Well, let's just be real. I mean, the people that you're talking about that you named, they're staunch Democrats. So whether it's a check or not a check, Al Sharpton.
But we're still going to push back. Like, these same people have been up here.
Yeah.
We haven't been paid for nothing, but we ask questions on both sides. Like, we ask for the people. We don't ask to be your friend.
Well, again,
where's the money, by the way?
Yeah, well,
I always talk about we getting paid. Where the money?
We ain't getting no dollar.
I ain't get a dollar. My dumb ass out here for no reason. Where the money?
Right. Well,
don't say that.
We're doing it for somebody that ain't got it.
No, but it ain't just for the people.
But
it ain't just for the people. Like, let's go on and really talk about this. Let's have a conversation. It's for the people, but the people you gotta have money to run any damn thing. So at the end of the day, if money's not being spent to organize on the ground, if you're not buying ads from Black Effect,
they did advertising.
So it is a money play. America's money. This is a capitalist society. I know the progressive want to tell y'all something different, but it's about money. And you should be buying votes. Yes, they should be going down. If I had $100 million, every little league program, every uniform that need to get bought in the hood, I'll be buying it. Like, those are the things that you need to do in order so people can see something tangible so they can say, you know what? they did do something in my community. So again, Lauren, this is why the local and state is important. Your city commissioner can go do that. They can go do that in Orlando. Black Business Investment Fund. Here go $150,000. Start your business. You can't get out that commissioner. That person, they're going to ride for that commissioner. So it is a money play, Envy, but a lot of the people have been getting the same money over and over and over, and guess what happened? They found out that they don't have the motion that they used to. So now a lot of the same folks, and I'm not shit, I'm just telling you what it is. Now they're having to partner with people they never thought about partnering before because you done went up there and told them people that you had motion. And the results in the last election showed you really don't have emotions no more. The street don't believe you anymore. You're talking to the same people over and over and over. This is no disrespect, but if the Urban League is hosting an event with none but Urban League people in the audience, those people are already voting. You're not talking to the people who are not voting. You have to bring in new people. That's how we win elections in Orlando. Commissioner Regina Hill arrested 21 times, ran against 21-year incumbent. It was just 3 of us on the campaign. We went and got 4,000 people that never thought about being in the process and snuck them in and put them in the game. That's how you win. They don't want to do that because they don't want to spend the money. They think they know every damn thing. They want their contracts. I'm keeping it real. They want their contracts. They want access. Most of the people that are still grieving right now over the loss, that are still going through the 5 stages of grief, are pissed because they don't have access to the White House. Not by default, they care about the people. I'm not saying they don't care about the people. I'm not saying they're not doing it for the right reasons. But a lot of this is, I need to be able to say I'm at the White House. Yeah, it's ego. Yeah.
What's up? What else? What's the other one?
Okay, so the 4th one is stand on business. We talked about that. The 5th one is show me my opponent. That's where your opponent, you really need to know who your opponent is, because even if you might think it's just the candidate, you might think it's just the other campaign team, but even as an activist and an organizer, you have an opponent. You need to know what you're fighting against, what you're standing for, how they're going to try to put you out the game, the crash out, all of those different things. All 5 of these courses are cumulative. You can sign up for each one, individually if you want. It's only $50. That's 2 hours with me, live course, in addition to course materials that are already there right now for you to study and quiz. So you just think about $25 an hour, 2-hour class, $1,500 value, by the way. So you can take each course individually, but I recommend people take all 5 because they all work together. I layer it like we did in this conversation so that it just kind of makes sense.
And this is for people who want to actually run in their own local election.
No, it's for if you think you want to run.
Okay.
If you want to run, if you already running, because more than likely if you're running, you're doing 50 different jobs. If you're running on local, it's also for campaign workers. If you want to work on a campaign, if you want to be a campaign manager, volunteer coordinator, it's also for organizers that say, you know what, I want to push an initiative. I want to get an initiative on the ballot to say we want local reparations. And then it's also for activists, people who say, I don't want to do any of those things, but I just want to be online and I want to create some noise. So it's all 5. I'm addressing all 5 all at the same time because the fundamentals are the same. So you'll get your individual, and right now you'll see on the course, you'll get your individual materials, but I'm weaving it together so that it all makes sense. So if you don't know what the hell you want to do, and you like, I'm just going to come to the first one for roles and responsibilities just to get an idea because I want to do something, right? Then this is the course for you.
Well, Tez, we appreciate you joining us.
Tezlyn Figaro.
And how can they get information on the course?
TezlynFigaro.com. TezlynFigaro. As soon as you go to the website, the course pops up.
You got a Southwest flight to catch?
I got South. Y'all gonna stop talking about Southwest?
Shout out to Southwest. What time the flight leave?
Yeah, it leaves at 3:00. Shout out to Southwest. You see, we got new plugs.
No, I ain't never been on there to see that.
Yesterday. I posted it yesterday.
Oh, I did see that in your story.
Yeah,
okay. I thought that was AI.
I thought that was AI.
Shout out to Southwest.
And shout out to one of your biggest followers, Lovey. I'm sure Lovey's excited.
Oh my God, yes, he is so supportive. Oh, he'll love that you shouted about. He's so supportive. He really, really is. And subscribe to the Straight Shot No Chaser podcast.
There you go.
On the Black and congratulations, Lauren.
Thank you
on your podcast, and congratulations on everything you guys are doing. They call me Judy Winslow because I left and I never said goodbye.
Oh,
to the people in the audience that supported me.
Because it wasn't a goodbye.
It was telling, yeah, but they was used to seeing me. It wasn't a goodbye. But I do want to say that. Shout out to everybody that supported me on Front Page News. We're still family. We're still here. Wasn't no drama. People waiting on tea. Wasn't no drama. Wasn't no anything. I'm doing great things, but I love you guys, and I just wanted to say, give everybody a proper goodbye.
There you go. Right. It's Tezlyn Figaro. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Peace.
Wake that ass up
early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.